Hey folks, Dude here, coming to you. Probably this is going to be an abbreviated Dude After Dark, mostly because I got to get up early tomorrow, and I really, truly have to completely, I have to 180 my entire sleeping pattern. Why? Because I'm helping out a friend working the Otakon anime convention in Washington, D.C. So, if you guys head on down Friday, Saturday, Sunday this coming weekend, which would be, let's see, that's going to be 5th, 6th, or 6th, 7th, 8th. 6th, 7th, 8th of this coming weekend, I will be working the Washington, D.C. episode of Otakon. Donnie C., appreciate you sliding on by tonight. And looking at the news, man, I got to tell you what, the news is, wow. It's nothing short of just holy crap, what are these guys up to? What in the world are they doing? And it's kind of getting interesting because we are now seeing cracks in the dam known as the pushback, holdback, call it what you will, from the Democrat National Convention Committee. Cucamonga, just goofballs. Anyway, those guys are looking bad. And I do mean really, really bad. It could be said that, things are looking right now for pretty much the anybody that is in the White House trying to do something. They might just be suffering not the best times. It could be said that they'll really, truly be suffering death by snoo snoo. No, they are not suffering death by snoo snoo. No, it is not death by snoo snoo. It might even be, well, snoo. No, it's not snoo snoo, okay? It's not. It's probably going to be something like death. Yes, it's going to be death by wee. Oh, man. Looking at things in terms of the way Joe is performing, and I'm talking about President... Yeah, Joe Kaka. Mr. Kaka is looking not the best. Okay, yes, we know he's Kaka. Okay, we know this to be true, but we're now seeing the situation they're in where he's looking. No, he's looking more like. Yeah, he's really looking like Kaka. The way he's just his mechanizations, the way that he's transposing sentences, the way that he's interacting with the media guys, and it just really is just not pretty. Johnny C, don't know what's going on, got rid of my TV 5 years ago. Dude, I really haven't watched much broadcast television in a long time, mostly because, well, commercials are freaking insulting. There are big breaks in the timeline where you simply can just be doing something else. And I have really decent ad blockers. And I just watch stuff online. Patron Fever, appreciate you coming by, dude. So looking at things as it is for the members of the Democrat National Communist Society. And, that's the other thing, too. Is there's a really cool video on YouTube. It's an older video, and it's called Make Mine Freedom. And what they say essentially is that any form of ist, I-S-T, becomes an ism. So if you start with something that is ist, you will gradually become ism. Now, looking at things as it is coming down the pike, the way things are working out for these guys, it is not looking good. Now, what tended to have happen is they had these overreaching mandates where they pretty much just said, hang on, Thor's hammer. This is how things are. We're decreeing it from Washington, D.C. You will be stuck with this piece of legislation, and we're just going to, hand up and basically turn you into a hand puppet. So the situation then is that they have these overarching mandates, like constitutionally enabling abortion. Well, either you're for or you're against abortion. That's kind of really, that's a second-run item, technically, because if you really want to look at it, abortion is actually a state's right issue. And it should be accredited to the states individually on how they either allow or disallow abortion procedures to take place, the mandates involved for the ways in which you can obtain such item, health state of the mother, health state of the child. All these things have to come into play, and the states themselves would say, "Yep, that's cool. That's everything's great." Da, 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 or we're just going to completely not even allow it in the slightest instance, except for members who are, accordingly falling under these prerequisite items. Now, for the federal government to slam hell or down on everybody and say it's constitutional to do X can be challenged by the states to say, look, this is this overarching mandate. And the last time I checked, this really didn't have anything to do with taxation or interstate commerce. If you have something that's taking place in a state that doesn't leave the state, for members that are citizens of that state and they've never left the state, federal government really doesn't have jack to say about it. That's pretty much how that one works on that. Patriot Food in the Room says, dude, Little Patriot 3 has really taken to Rainbow Rangers. The PC of it really want to make me smash my smart TV. Oh, no. Rainbow Rangers. Yeah, I got only one thing to say about Rainbow Rangers. Yeah, just one thing. Yeah, that's that's all I got to say about that. Because, when you have one guy and another guy, they're doing something that sounds probably a little bit more like, yeah, I don't know, man. That's where I don't tend to go. I mean, what happens behind closed doors, I really don't care. If you guys basically, get your jollies off of doing X, Y, Z, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. And I sure as hell don't want to pay for it. Where's My Little Pony when you need it? Oh, dude. Oh, you know how they say you can punch up the most innocuous things on Google Images and you will find stuff? Yes. Don't punch up My Little Pony. Don't. Okay, trust me on this one. Trust me. Do not punch up My Little Pony on Google Images, or you're going to see My Little Pony in ways, shape, and form like you never intended. Wow. Yuck. All right, so let me cruise on over here. I don't know if you guys caught up about this one or not, but nasty ass Nancy Pelosi was wearing no mask, but called out the RNC members against masks a moron. You old nasty ass, see you in Toledo. You've been seen, you've been observed, you've been completely lying about the fact that, masks saves lives. You've been observed running around without masks in public on many occasions. So don't even try that game. We're wise to you. It's well documented, and you are a hypocrite of the highest order. That's the other thing too, is also Facebook has this way of just not liking like certain websites. I linked to patriotalerts.com, and it gave me like just a great box. It didn't give me like one of those thumbnails that pops up. It's like, basically you have the link, or you just don't even have the link, but you have like a picture associated with the link that you then click on that, and it basically bounces you out. Well, Facebook, in all their infinite liberal wisdom, said, we're just going to not allow you to put up that link. Well, what I said to them in my post was, blank you, Facebook. I'm going to find the blanking crappiest pictures of your a-holes to the links that I choose to post here. Nice try. And I found just the most horrible frame shot from that video where she was kind of like, just absolutely just looking haggard. And that's just awesome pictures, because I can do some, editing along those lines. And it's just more fun to do stuff like that. So when I have to hoist them by their own petards, I will. Let's see. Scrolly. This is getting very, very interesting. There's now been a story that's leaked. I don't know about leaking, but it's definitely out there now. If you're, charitably just able to look for your own stuff as opposed to wait for the media to spoon feed you their template of stuff they wish you to see. Wait. What happened is there's now a news story out, and it says there's a scandal from newly leaked data that shows over half the COVID hospitalizations in the UK were for other ailments. Oops. Yeah, that's coming from PatriotAlerts.com. Scandal newly leaked data, blah, 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 blah. So it's on my Facebook page. July 28th, I posted this up. I don't know if if you heard about this one, but Peppermint Pasaki basically told the media guys, you don't need to know. She refused to give the names of White House officials who have COVID unless they believe we should actually know. Well, Peppermint Pasaki, if these are the guys who are running the country, we probably should know who's actually suffering the ailment that they seem to be ramming down everybody's throat and trying to put the mask mandates on everybody and control features with, don't gather in too many size groups of X. Don't, this, that, and the other thing in other places and other timelines. So Peppermint Pasaki is being just a little bit snarky, smug, and arrogant in her choices of information sourcing. Really, truly, this just I can't take that one out of the room. Sorry. I can't take that one off my Facebook page. I'll have to look for it. This is getting very, very interesting, along the lines of like the truth coming out about the actual baseline people who are just affected with COVID and those people who are actually sick with COVID. Now, one of the things I find completely just absolutely distrustful to be placed upon the federal government, the CDC, World Health Organization, any of those guys, when they say, "Oh my gosh, the numbers are horrible. There's so many COVID infections going on right now." Okay, infection rates is not the same thing as people who are actually sick with something. Now, it's disingenuous for these guys to say, "Oh my word, the COVID numbers are so high." Okay, are you talking about people who are actually sick with this disease? Or are you talking about people who tested and gave a positive response when, get this, SARS is a COVID-style virus which can give a false positive. Colds are a SARS-style virus that can give a false positive. Of course, COVID can give a positive or a false positive. So the test itself is not 100%. Now, here it is, me pulling back the curtain a little bit. Basically, the house had COVID. It's just very easy to say. One person got it, then everybody else got it. We pretty much shared it, got it out of our systems. Mrs. Dude and I both tested positive for COVID. My niece, who is a teenager, did not. Now, she expressed all the symptoms. She pretty much had to deal with the same amount of hacking, coughing, high fever, all the rest of that fun stuff as the rest of us did. And they did not get a positive response from her from an antibody reaction in the testing. Now, that's basically a 30% failure rate right there. And that's in the same household where everybody knew similar symptoms. Okay, we all have similar symptoms. We probably have the same ailments. We probably have the same thing going on. Now, if they have that small of a database with a 30% failure rate, and you're applying it to this, the United States population of 40 million, that means 1/3, if not 100 million plus of the testing is specious, arbitrary, possibly false, possibly positive, or the numbers are just not good. And that's just me basically talking from, the looking at the trees for the forest beyond me. Patriot Fever, somebody needs to make Cuomo squeal at COVID or the election. Well, I think Cuomo right now has got a little bit of a problem too, because it's been found out that he's been a little bit of a dabbler, a little bit of a squeezer, a little bit of a pincher, a little bit of a tweaker. He's basically been playing grab ass, and he got busted. So anyway, the thing about it is looking at the Twitter thing that I pulled out there, this is ridiculous. So let me just read what I said, and I got to clean it up a little bit. This is blanking retarded, Twitter. By the same token, you and the CDC has no blanking clue how long the mRNA jab versus the naturally acquired immunity will last either. So blank off with your scare tactics. And this is something that Twitter actually had on there. And of course, I have the little box that pops up underneath on Facebook where they're like, yeah, COVID-19 vaccines, this, that, and the other thing. They're so great, you should get them. Go early, go often. People should still get vaccinated, even if they already had COVID-19. Health agencies and medical experts say, according to medical experts and health agencies, people should be vaccinated regardless whether they have had previously been infected with the COVID-19, because it remains unclear how strong or long-lasting the protection from natural antibodies is. By that same token, you don't know how long the mRNA shots work. Studies have shown that vaccination provides a strong boost in protection in people who have recovered from COVID-19, according to the CDC. Now, let me just bounce this off you guys. They keep going on, the COVID-19 Delta variant is so contagious. Okay, it's coming out of India. If you know anything about India, India's not a huge place, and it's got 1.3 billion. That's a lot of people in not a huge area, and obviously they're going to cross-contaminate one another, and they're probably going to spread something very, very well. And then, of course, then you have a mutated form of COVID-19. Now, a mutated form usually is not as badass as the previous iteration. Now, those people who know history, the flu and the cold used to be fatal. If you got one of those things, you were a dead duck. Now, how did it eventually work that people could survive the flu and the cold most times? Yes, I know the flu still kills some people, but by and large, people survive the flu. People still die from the cold, too. So, let's be honest here. But what happened is there was enough generations of people who had it, died, had it, died, had it, died, had it, died. Then some people started expressing not quite immunity, but their bodies made the antibodies able or capable to contend with a mutated form of the cold or flu virus, which wasn't quite as deadly as the previous ones. Now, here it is expressed very simply. If you have a virus that has 100% kill rate, that's not a very damn good virus. It's basically just going to die off because it kills every single thing it encounters. That would be basically a slate wiper. So, yeah, Ebola. You're not going to do real good getting Ebola. Well, slight problem. The fatality on Ebola is like 90 some odd percent. I mean, it's like you get this stuff and you're done, man. You are done. And usually what it is most people get it. They usually don't go very, very far because they catch it out in the middle of the nowheres and they're going, okay, I'll just zombie my way in here, leaking fluids and everything else. And, I'll just find myself some healthcare facility. They don't make it out because the thing wipes them out before they get a chance to get assistance. If they do manage to get help, those people who have been exposed to, dealing and contending with Ebola go, oh, yeah, this guy's got Ebola. And they kind of put him in a little area and kind of leave him by himself, make him as comfortable as possible. But dude's circling the drain. They're not going to be able to do a whole hell of a lot. Ebola is one of those viruses that is literally just, you got it, you're done. So how much does Ebola actually really spread? It really doesn't. Because the reason being is everybody that pretty much gets Ebola dies from Ebola before they can expose that many other people to Ebola. So, the mutated forms of viruses, by and large, usually get weaker in the natural course of items unless somebody basically takes the thing into the laboratory, starts monkeying around with it, and goes, no. This needs a little tweak, and needs this, that. We need to put new wheels on it, jack it up, and basically make it look like, some turd that basically is driving down one of the side roads with the music thumping. That's what we need to do to this. Patriot fever. So that's the mutated form of liberalism. Jeez. Oh, man. All right, so scroll. I put this up as one of my updates on Facebook, and it seemed to be pretty well received. Everybody seemed to like it. And I said essentially this. I have a new method to destroy the DNC. deny them the ability to remove Joe Biden from office, watch them implode. just leave him up there as a figurehead for the Democrat National Committee. He was the best they could give to us, and well, you guys wanted him. You're going to run with him. You're going to run with him. You're going to run with him. We're not going to let you stop running with him because he is your guy. Grizz, appreciate you coming on by, dude. Salute. Let's see. Scroll. I posted this one up, and it didn't get one of those Facebook block things. So I guess this is one of the sanctioned, safe, and okay memes to share. And it says essentially this: hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin worked the entire time. They knew that and lied about it the whole time. Post that. I don't know if you guys caught up with this or not, but I looked up the LinkedIn page for David Chipman, the Waco baby killing. Oh God, I really want to give you guys my opinion on, David Chipman, but let's just say he's just. Yeah, he's that guy, okay? Yeah, he basically went into Waco, made a hell of a mess out of Waco, and David Chipman, you dick. Yeah, he's pretty much just retard alert, class. Yeah, he's that guy. You dick. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so it's been expressed that the left, even the left, thinks Biden's ATF nominee, David Chapman, is racist. Orange is doing something obnoxious. Anyway, David Chapman is racist. And the news coming out of ammoland.com, I'm going to have to open up another link. Let's see. This coming from ammoland.com. It was written by Aiden Johnson. While President Biden's ATF director nominee David Chipman has had a hard time evading his past as a gun control lobbyist, Senate Democrats have been incredibly successful at brushing aside his connections to and allegations of racism. Now, if you guys want to see something interesting here, look up the BATF and racism. Those guys actually put out an N-word hunting license at one of their get-togethers, grossly offending the black members who happen to be walking up at the good old boys get-together. And if you want to see true, hardcore, raging racism, you're going to see that in the BATF. Trust me. Let's see. At first, these allegations were uncovered by Americans Accountability Federation, so AAF, a nonprofit government oversight and research organization. AAF uncovered testimony from former ATF agent and colleague of Chipman who recalled him making the racist commentary. He said this, quote, "Wow, there were an unusually large number of African-American agents that passed the exam this time. They must have been cheating," end quote. While troubling, public outcry linking Chipman's name to racism doesn't end with the American Accountability Foundation. Oh, no. Recently, The Reload, a Second Amendment news source, corroborated AAF's report with independently verified reports from more ATF agents. Translation, they really think he's a piece of, hang on a second, I got this one, sound guy. They really think he is just a piece of, they really think he's just, he's that guy. Yeah, he's one of those, okay? Yeah, exactly. Could be said that pretty much after all those, a little bit of a shard action going on there. Anyway, David Chipman was senior vice president at Shot Spotter, Inc., where he openly brags about leading their SEAL team during a 2-year period of explosive growth. However, left-leaning organizations like Action Center on Race and Economy, ACRE, never heard of them, routinely lobby for local police to, quote, canceled the contracts, end quote, they had with ShotSpotter over effectiveness, expense, and racism concerns. Ooh, interesting. Whatever you believe about defund the police movement and critical race theory, it's clear David Chipman's ShotSpotter technology meets the radical left's definition of quote-unquote racist. In fact, the left appears to be unifying in its condemnation of ShotSpotter technology with local branches of the ACLU, NAACP, and Democrat Socialism of America recently teaming up with local police, signing a new contract with ShotSpotter in Worcester, Massachusetts. According to Acre, the technology doesn't work, and the overwhelming majority of ShotSpotter alerts turn up nothing. However, Acre does admit that ShotSpotter is good at putting black and brown residents at risk. Interesting. Acre's most recent data suggests that ShotSpotter creates 60-plus dangerous situations every day in police districts with the largest black and Latino populations. Interesting. According to Vice Investigations, ShotSpotter analysts manually overrode the algorithms and reclassified the sound of a gunshot and changed the alert's coordinates to make the ShotSpotter report fit the Chicago police evidence in a murder arrest. So it's bad technology. They got to cheat it to give it, any kind of credence or basically make it look good. So Chipman's ShotSpotter technology doesn't work. Disproportionately affects majority black and brown communities. It's been used by police to falsify evidence and resulted in the death of a child. All right, it goes on and on and on and on. I think we can pretty much say that David Chipman, you are the asshole that other assholes hate because they think you're an asshole. That's about as nice as I can put it. Sorry. It is what it is. Scroll. Something else COVID related most people don't realize is there was a major outbreak, call it what you will, but 3/4 of the infected in Massachusetts in the outbreak were vaccinated. Remember, Massachusetts is very, very, very blue. I mean, it's like you can count on the fact that pretty much the DNC owns Massachusetts. Just give me 1 second here. The intrusions of the unions to make anything happen. If you don't go union related, it ain't going to get done, man. It's a party town. It truly, truly is. Let's see. Scrolly. CDC links cluster of cases to the Delta variant. Duh. Inoculated people had greater protection against severe disease. No. That's just specious and arbitrary to say, oh, yeah, well, you've had the shot, so you're not going to get sicker because, well, you've had the shot. There's plenty of people who haven't had the shot, didn't get sick, so, possibly they didn't see their healthcare professionals because, they weren't sick. I really hate circular arguments that are just completely horrible information. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. This is really not good for there's no other way to say it. It's just really not good for seems Mr. His days after Biden put in the strict new mandates, his approval numbers are really not doing good. President Joe Biden's approval rating. Oh, excuse me. I said the B word. Okay. Approval rating has plummeted 20 points since he gained office, according to a Monmouth University poll released Thursday. Kaka entered office on January with a net approval rating of plus 24, but now is at just plus 4, according to the poll. Safe to say that is really becoming very much he's becoming his namesake.
Did you hear about the 60th birthday party?
Say what?
Obama's 60th birthday party.
No.
700 guests.
Okay.
How?
Well, they all were wearing masks, so they've had the shots.
No. It
No?
hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay.
But they're saying not to have big parties.
Oh, so Obama had a 700-person party.
He's planning it.
He's planning it, but they haven't had new mandates or shots or anything like that, so he can have the party. Oh, jeez. It is interesting, though, that Kaka was talking about, possibly locking everybody down. Yeah, he was talking about doing that, okay? Yeah, we heard that, all right? He was thinking of locking things down and just, making stuff safer. I don't know, but so basically he was going to make things safer, and in the process we would be safer by locking everything down. But there is a slight problem. People are tired of being locked down. As a matter of fact, I have a good opinion here by Bill O'Reilly, and he was like, what do you think about lockdowns, Mr. Bill O'Reilly?
And things suck.
He's honest. He's honest, okay? He's not into it. Anyway, so looking at things as it is, there's only but so much of locking people down before they're like, dude, stop. No more, okay? Just no more. We're done, okay?
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, we're finished, okay? No more. I wish they would beam them up. All right. So anyway, the White House walks back the statement on a COVID-19 lockdown possibility big time, because they are like going, oh yeah, well we would and everybody was like, no, and they're like, okay, and we were like, yeah. So that was how that one worked. I don't know if you saw this one or not. This is coming from Team Tucker Carlson, so this is going to be yet another interesting one. But supposedly, here we go again. Democrat Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. Oh man, she is just. I got this one sound guy. This might take a second though, but she is just.
But I moved from there.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got with that one. She is just.
But I moved from there.
Yeah, that's all I really got to say about Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. But supposedly she was busted while she participated in a protest in support of a federal elections overhaul. Now, here's the thing, folks, is they're expressing this stuff as that we basically should have all these things. Hang on a second here. This thing's being weird. Okay, lose that. Okay, I got too much crap going on. Oh man, I hate when it does this. You know what? It's one of those really truly annoying things about Win 10. There's like all kinds of little stupid pop-up things, and of course, Win 11 is going to be so much better than Win 10. I'm still driving the bus on this thing, and every once in a while, it does something a little different. And it's like, I don't want you to do that. Stop. I don't like that crap. Anyway, so what's going on here? Not a good overhaul. What it's going to do is it's going to deny people the ability to see their voting as being more proactive. They're going to be able to, actually see the voting taking place. It's going to be more elusive for them to actually find facts about like members of like, the parties and like where they stand on things. It's bad juju. Okay. From top on down, this election overhaul thing is bad juju. And all it really is a power grab by the Democrats to say, yeah, look, we got all these things in place. Now the Republicans can never win again. Yeah, we got them beat. That's not an election process, okay? That's a mandate, and that never, ever should happen when one party is in power. Ever. Now, the other thing, too, is also there is ways around this, and you could actually do, the classic one from Maharishi, but he was the one that truly, absolutely, completely nailed it. And there's no other way to say it except for simply just Operation Chaos. Operation Chaos was one of those just masterful strokes that he did that kept Hillary Clinton in the primaries way longer than she ever really should have been. And it was freaking hilarious, man. They're like losing their minds going, we can't understand why Hillary's so popular. Well, what people were doing was they were walking across the aisle and becoming, I got to do air quotes, Democrats, voting for her in the primaries, And then in the process of voting for her in the primaries, then going back, changing their party affiliation yet again, and voting not Democrat. So anyway, that's essentially what they did with Operation Chaos and keeping her in play, and it really screwed with the process. Now, if everybody did something very similar and everybody just flooded the Democrat Party, and I mean absolutely flooded the Democrat Party in the primaries and completely jacked with the process, voting for the most unwinnable turds that they have in their election process, knocking down the big names, and then becoming like, your own party choice yet again, or staying as a Democrat and really just voting your truest choices, that would completely jack with the process. And the Democrats would lose their freaking minds and be like, wait a minute, we just got like X amount of people that just joined up all of a sudden. Well, what are we going to do here? Oh, okay, well, we're now strong. Yes, we're powerful. They pump themselves up. They think they're going to win everything. Slight problem. It's a false narrative. And it's a false narrative of their own making. All good stuff. All good stuff. But anyway, so the Texas Democrat was standing with other protesters in front of the Senate Hart building in Washington, D.C. before the Capitol Police gave them the, quote, third and final warning, end quote, to disperse from the area, according to the Hill reporter Marty Johnson. Video footage from Sheila Jackson Lee's office showed the police officers cuffing a representative and other demonstrators with zip ties and leading them into a police van. Jackson Lee had gathered with protests to demand Congress pass the For the People Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, according to the Washington Examiner. The John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act would amend the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and create, quote, procedural rules governing voting rights violations, end quote, a New York magazine reported. Now, if that was true, and it actually was something that was worthy, and it was something that actually merited being in place, let's put this in perspective. They've been trying to get that thing in there since previous to me even being on the planet, okay? Previous to me being on the planet in 1965, they were trying to get this thing foisted on everybody, and those guys back then were like, no. And not only no, but hell no. So they've been trying for the better part of 55 years, plus 56 years to try to cram this thing down everybody's throat, and it's not good legislation in the first place. Otherwise, it would have gone further. See what it is, folks. It's a turd. She's propping up a turd. She's now stinky with turd. So anyway, moving on from that one. Scroll. I don't know if you guys caught this video or not, but there was an interview taking place. Joe Kaka was sitting there and they were basically, asking questions and whatnot. And somebody gave him a note and he looked at the note. Only problem was the writing was on the wrong side. And then he was like, oh yeah, turned it around. Well, somebody got the script that was on the wrong side and took a picture of it. And I did put it in my Facebook update for this. And what it says essentially is, sir, there's something on your chin. So what did Joe Kaka do? Oh, I hate to waste this. No, there's now conjecture about what did he take off of his chin and what did he eat off of his chin. But he was like, leftovers. Oh, dude. Ew. That would have been one of those times where you just go, oh, excuse me for a moment. Basically, turn away, take the tissue, kind of wipe your face, tuck it back into your shirt pocket, which would have been the proper thing to do. Instead, he was just like, conspiratorially, like, I cannot do it justice. That's literally what it looked like. It looked like the little kid was like, ooh, yeah. he looked like he was narfing on a nasal nugget. There's no other way I can express it, man. Oh, that was just nasty. I don't know if you guys caught this news story or not. This shifting positions a little bit, but supposedly there is now a third officer that was involved in the January 6th insurrection, air quotes, the Capitol get together where some people were allowed to get into the Capitol, most secure building on the planet. And there's now the third officer that's committed arkancide. I'm sorry, suicide. And previous gentlemen were Howard Liebengood, who killed himself 3 days after the riot. Police officer Jeffrey Smith, which he shot himself on his way to work on January 15. And finally, there's this third gentleman who is, hang on a second. Unfortunately, I didn't grab the gentleman's name. It was, and here's the other thing that's really just tripped out. This guy's a father of three. 6 months after the January 6th assault, basically commits suicide. And the gentleman's name was Gunther Hashida. Gunther Hashida. He was 43, announced basically he took his life, blah, 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 blah. It sounded like these guys are not playing the game, and they're like, well, just bump them off because it's more trouble than it's worth to try to, switch this guy around to saying the right stuff to the right people. So that's where we are with that one there, man. It sounds sketch. Sounds really sketch. I don't know if you guys basically heard about this one, but it's in California. So anyway, I'm going to have to try to do this in such a way that it's not going to be a copyright hit, but if you're going to San Francisco, you're going to have to wear your mask. Yeah. But, if you're going to San Francisco, actually, it's the song I'm referencing. So San Francisco, Scott McKenzie, just look it up. If you're going to, you know the tune, okay? San Francisco. Yeah, you know the song. It's one of those 60s hippie things that was just like, basically feel like grabbing ice picks and just going, it's after about 30 seconds of that song, you're just like, I got to be high or drunk to listen to this dreck. Anyway, so they now have the mask mandate back in San Francisco. Reinstated in San Francisco Bay Area amid surge. Dude, it's California. You got a lot of people. 46 million people, okay? Come on. There's going to be some bumps in the road. San Francisco and 6 other Bay Area counties announced Monday the reinstated a mask mandate for all indoor public settings as COVID-19 infections surge because of the highly contagious Delta variant. No, they're surging because you have a lot of people close up in person. They're basically trading bougies. Okay, it is what it is. If they're not deathly sick from the stuff, it's a non-starter. Let's see. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but supposedly she's going to survive. But that comedian, and I'm using the phrase really coarsely here, but the comedian Kathy Griffin, the chick that basically held up the fake Trump head that was covered in ketchup, and she was like with the stern face, like, I just hacked this off. Yeah, I'm so politically, but basically threatening a president who was in office at the time, making bold statements and overtures in terms of threats to a sitting president. Yeah, that skank. Well, anyway, she's been found to have lung cancer in her left lung, and they basically took about a third of her lung out. And they're hopeful that she won't need radiation or chemotherapy. She's like, I never smoked in my whole life, and I've got lung cancer. Got bad news for you. You ever heard of secondhand smoke? You were working clubs where people were smoking like crazy. Oh, yeah, you're not young. You're 60 years old. You are working clubs where people smoke like chimneys. You were around smokers, okay? Or you're around other stuff, and there's all kinds of other things going on that basically can create the situations where you can basically obtain cancer, genetic predilections, environmental exposure, anything, dude. Anything is potentially possible. Some proton from a collapsing star basically whacks your ass. You got it, okay? Anyway, so basically, Skanky Girl is supposedly on the mend and will be good to go in another month. Well, slight problem. What's her career done lately? Not a lot, because she did her little stupid, hold the picture of it and show everybody how much she hates Trump. Yeah, that destroyed her career. Even liberals were like, dude, no, your box office poison. We don't want anything to do with you. And there was a running joke that she did basically describing her level of fame. And she was like, yeah, I'm a member of the D list or something. You know, basically like those people who are notable enough that you're like, you've heard the name, but you're like, yeah, I'm not really going to go out of my way just to hear, see, or pay money to have anything to do with this person. So anyway, that's where we are with that one. And essentially she's, pooped out part of her lung now. Let's see. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not, but some of the most heavily unvaccinated people in the United States are African Americans. They just choose not to get the virus in terms of arm wise. So anyway, it's been now stated that Washington, D.C., one of the most violent cities on the planet, murder rates have now surpassed the coronavirus deaths in July by nearly 3-1. So it's more dangerous for you to walk around and get zapped by some dude pulling his gat and capping you versus you going out and getting the virus and going, oh no, I have the virus. Yeah. Scroll. I don't know if you guys caught this one or not. It's a YouTube video, and the link is in my Facebook page. Unfortunately, because the way Facebook works, I really can't play it. But there was a presser or something, and Joe Kaka was like, well, this, that, and the other thing, reading his notes and what have you, and somebody mentioned something, and he just went, mom, and it's like, she's not here. Oh, okay, she's not here. Yeah, pretty much easy to say that mom wouldn't be here because you're an old dude. You're an old dude, and probably your mom is, like expired. Wow. Patriot fever, also known as walking in downtown Chicago. Yeah. Yes, it's not a lead-free zone, even though gasoline hasn't had lead in it in 40 years. But yeah, there's a good chance that you get exposed to lead walking around Chicago. Same thing in Washington, D.C. No leaded fuel, but there's a lot of lead in the air. Wow. Let's see. Scroll. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is one. This is going to be our daily. This is going to be our daily puke. I'm gonna hold back here, but right now I'm just got like this. The ball is rolling up my throat. This is bad, folks. They're doing a remake of the 1977 classic movie with Burt Reynolds. Oh, we're going to be talking about nothing else other than the classic Smokey and the Bandit. Now, here's the thing that's basically made me just like really, dry heave. Smokey and the Bandit. I'm going to read you the text here. Smokey and the Bandit Ride Again will star Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, the guy from Gladiator, the guy who played the Joker, the guy that was in that movie called Her. Oh, bad movie, really bad movie. Joaquin Phoenix as the Bandit, originally played by Burt Reynolds. It will also feature comedy star Charlie Sheen, also known as that guy that couldn't get arrested right now because he pretty much tanked his career by being a raging butthole. And infamous Charlie. This is not written really well. Comedy actor Charlie Sheen, fill-in fame Ashton Kutcher as Cletus. Oh, God. Jerry Reed is just spinning in his grave at about 4,000 RPM, man. The official synopsis reads thus. Quote, the Bandit agrees to come out of retirement to help his friend Cletus ferry a truckload of illegal Mexican immigrants across the border and through Arizona. No, they're not moving cores this time. They're moving whores. Let's see. Sheriff Buford T. Justice, John Goodman. Oh, I can smell it coming through the computer right now, and it just smells like a steaming pile of just. Sheriff Buford T. Justice, John Goodman, never knows they are coming. With a runaway nun, Carrie Elizabeth Olsen, hitches a ride, all sorts of thrills and spills, chases and crashes and mishaps are promised, nay, guaranteed. I was just reading up earlier about this, and the guy that originally did Smokey and the Bandit was a gentleman by the name of Hal Needham. Hal Needham is a stunt guy like you don't want to know. Like, you know that bridge jump that they did where they just totaled the car. It landed and it just went, pancake. He was like, yeah, well, we're going to do it with the stock car, but we couldn't get it going fast enough. Well, I happen to own a racing team at the time, so I made a phone call and I said, look, let me get one of those 750 horsepower engines and a stick shift transmission, because that's the only way we're going to get this thing going fast enough to make it over the ramp and over the bridge and clear the distance, because it won't go fast enough otherwise. So that's the kind of thinking that this guy did. It was like, okay, the budget of the movie is $4.3 million. Crap, we just paid Burt Reynolds $1 million. We got to make this movie with $3.3 million, and we got to make it good. Well, they also made some phone calls, and they got 25 of those Pontiacs to trash $750,000 in cars between that and the Trans Ams, and they pretty much totaled every single car with the understanding that GM wanted to get the cars back so they could crush them to remove liability. Now, that's the kind of thinking that they did back in the 1970s. Oh, this car ain't going fast enough. I know. Let's stick a bigger engine in there and go fast as hell. Well, it still ain't going to go fast enough. Well, take that automatic transmission out of there. Give me another gear. Wow. Holy crap. Patriot Fever. Ashley, would you hire Ron White for Buford T. Justice? Oh, my God. That's who should be Buford T. Justice. Ron White would be a natural. Jackie Gleason's kind of just, smooth delivery and just that kind of, you're a butthole, and I'm going to tell you how many different ways you are. And then, of course, the whole some bitch thing. You got to use some bitch because that's just, it's required. Oh, man. I cannot do it justice, folks, but that, I don't know if I would say it hurt me, but I just read that and I was like, no, box office poison. Now, I got to read some of the comments back and forth. This is actually very, very funny. Now, the thing about it is you guys don't know this, but one of my brothers is actually an actor. He's been on television. He's been in movies. And he's earning his bones and working his way up the ladder from being just, the guy with only a couple lines to actually doing some, like actual parts that are, more. So he's working his way up right now, but he's an actor. He's actually out in California right now doing some gig. But anyway, it's like, he said, got a great cast, will probably be good. Well, what I said to him was, are you high? Hal Needham, who made the first one, never made a third for a reason. He said he wouldn't ever rework the 1977 movie since it was a classic and needed no further embellishments. The cast is a freaking train wreck. I expect box office poison, but then again, I need to invest in stuff I hate. Never fails. I hate it. It's a success. But bad B movies that I love are panned. He said back, yeah, it'll probably still be good. Doesn't mean it'll be a classic, but it has an awesome cast. I just put in there, Dumb and Dumber. Great cast. S-word hitty movie. He said, it was made 30 years later, that's why. LOL. This is a fresh remake with two of the best actors of our generation. John Goodman and Joaquin Phoenix are beasts. Like I said, it doesn't mean it'll be a classic, but it's going to be good. It's not The Rock doing it. LMAO. And I decided to hit him back hard. It's like John Goodman and the Flintstones, Joaquin Phoenix and Her. Oh, yeah. Total beast. Black movies, dude. One movie out of how many? Didn't know any actor didn't have a not-so-good movie once in a while. What's wrong with you? Bite your tongue. Battlefield Earth was a work of greatness. Travolta nailed that role. Note, that was said with sarcasm and smugness. Anyway, so I'm going back and forth between him and, like, the Big Lebowski, and how John Goodman was doing John Milius, and how overamped he did the performance to basically show, like, the Hollywood conservatives are just bad, this, that, if you've ever seen John Milius, in his prime, he had a stroke, but he's now recovering. But John Milius in his prime, you could say he was very much like a cross between like John Wayne mixed with Bluto from what the heck is that stupid movie? Hang on a second. I'm gonna keep myself honest here. Hang on a second here. I'm screwing it up. I know I'm screwing it up. I'm screwing it up. I know. Hang on. It's the toga party and all the rest of that fun stuff. I hate when I do this. I basically go into nether realms and all the rest of that fun stuff that's just not fun. But anyway, hang on a second here. I'll definitely find it in about 2 seconds here. National Lampoon's Animal House. He's like a cross. Milius is a cross between John Wayne and Bluto from National Lampoon's Animal House. Why? Because he was just one of those big, verbose, just belligerent kind of, we're going to be doing it this way, and if you don't do it that way, it's stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Trust me, John Milius is the man. He is the man. Conan and all kinds of other badass movies. Wolverine, good stuff. Yeah, that's all him. Let's see. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not, but the my butt's been wiped thing from Joe Kaka. Oh man, there's just so much good stuff out there now. I just it's just way too much. I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not. This is actually kind of cool. Let me jump over here real fast. Hang on a second here. I don't want to scroll down like that. Oh! This one was cute. Basically it's a picture of a person at a checkout counter dealing with a cashier, and it basically says, it's a meme, obviously, but it says, "Dear Plexiglass, thank you for protecting me from the cashier who just touched every single item I'll be taking home with me." Because germs know the plexiglass has no way to go around, over, under, or potentially find a crack. Jeez. I really cannot express how much that stuff just cracks me up at times. Anyway, I do have another project, and it's one of those kind of cool ones, and it's something that's basically time dependent. It's time dependent upon, like, the 1980s. Essentially, what was going on was, of course, there was the Deathlands series. Of course, you had, like, main characters and what have you. I'm building a shadow box because I always thought it'd be kind of cool to do a shadow box of Ryan Carter. I always liked Ryan Carter. Basically, he's the leader of the Deathlands gang that's running around and doing their various things. But it came to a point where I was like looking at like various weapons that he had. Obviously, he's got a SIG 226 with integral suppressor. I was like, well, I'm not going to put a suppressor on, like, an airsoft thing that's going to be something that's hanging from a wall. I just find a cheap airsoft thing that looks like a SIG. So I did. And I was like, well, I probably need to also reference on the fact that he has a panga. Well, I've got 2 blackjack pangas at this point. So one of those pangas is going to be in a shadow box dedicated for the Deathlands shadow box I'm going to be putting together. And, of course, obviously the SIG 226 9mm, that was basically his sidearm. Now, I did have a little bit of an issue when they said he also has, like, a kerchief with weighted ends, and he uses, a silk kerchief with weighted ends they use this for, like, strangling and whatnot. I always thought that was kind of stupid, but, it was one of those things he had, so I'm not going to reference on that one. But they did reference a flensing knife. Now, if you guys know anything about flensing, That is literally, you have a whale. You've taken a whale and you basically cut through the skin, and the skin on a whale is just like, it's like a truck tire. It's like about an inch thick. Then you got like, like a ridiculous amount of blubber, obviously a fat layer. Then you get down to the meat. Well, most of the flensing knives that I was seeing were either like these kind of really wicked looking hook things, kind of like what they were using on Mel Gibson when he was in Braveheart and they were disemboweling him. Kind of like one of those things, it's basically sharpened on both sides and it's semicircular. So you can basically start hooking and cutting, hooking and cutting, hooking and cutting. And obviously the other iterations are in was a long handle with a whatever shaped blade on the end that you would basically, sugar, hack your way through the whale, because, whales are not small. And obviously you need to harvest as much of the blubber as possible, because whale oil was used for lamps back in the good old days. Well, Ryan Carter supposedly was carrying a flensing knife. Now, to my way of thinking, I'm like, okay, are you referencing a whaling knife, or are you referencing basically just a standard deer skinning knife? Or are you referencing a basic hunting knife? Is it going to be something along the lines? Is it going to be something that is just going to be dual purpose, where something that's not so locked into play that it's pretty much just a single use item? It really only works good for one thing. Well, I do have one of these also in my own collection, but I was like, you know what? I want to get one that's not too terrible pretty, and I want to put it in the shadow box. So when I came out to be a flensing knife for my uses, it's going to be a Schrade Old Timer 150, and I believe this one is a 150T. Now this is a 1095, 1065. I think it's 1095 carbon steel, so it's hell for stout. It's a full tang, has Delrin handles, and I don't know why it's showing a line there, but it's not that noticeable to the eye. But I know it's showing a line there, but that really doesn't show up so good for the human eyeball. I think it's just like something that's in there. Anyway, so these are Delrin handles, and if you look at them, they have like basically lateral grooves in them, and it does have the little plate in there that says Old Timer, and it is stamped in. Now, there was a couple iterations of these guys. There is the Schrade Walden, which is the oldest of them. There's the Schrade. Then finally, there is the latest iteration, which is stainless steel, made in China, and they're really, really cheap because not a lot of people are buying them because they want this one. Now, the thing about it is obviously this is a hunting knife. Very prominent choice. You can't overslip into the blade. Has very good jimping. Obviously, you guys can kind of see that. Very good jimping on the backside. So you can really control this. The handle is not straight. It does have a nice little recurve in it. And it is a very, very good ergonomic design of a very good blade design. Blade length is not huge. Let me do a quick measurement here. Blade length on this guy is going to be just an RCH under 6 inches in blade length. Now, the thing about it is this thing does not have huge stock. I mean, it's like a few 16ths. It's not a 1/4 inch. So it is fairly quick and easy, man. You can switch grips with this guy really, really quick and dirty. And it is a awesome dual purpose feeling knife. So for my money, this is what I'm thinking that is going to be the flensing knife that goes along with a pretty well used, not abused, but used, not too pretty, and of course, not too pretty knife that's going to fit the bill for being the flensing knife in the Ryan Carter shadow box. Too cool. What else did I come down the pike with? Well, I was also scrounging around on eBay, and I found myself something I could not walk away from, and I really, truly have been wanting to have in my collection. I've been wanting to get one of these guys, and this, of course, is the case. Does say Buck on it, but the knife that it contains is the Buck, and I think it's a 122, 422, I think. Hang on a second here. I'm having a brain fart and too small font. Yes, it is the 422, which makes this the Buck Light. Does have some really, really good finger grooves on here. It's basically the same thing as a Buck 110 hunting knife. The major difference being, of course, is this one has either a Zytel or a different style polymer handle, and it is fairly light. Now, the thing about it is is these guys were very portable, very, very easy to carry, and of course, a smaller iteration and would fit into the pouch of an M9 bayonet. So a lot of guys who are in the service would get these and place them in the scabbard of the M9 bayonet, which is kind of why, of course, this one was majorly sun faded. So I pretty much redyed it with magic markers, made it pretty again, or semi-pretty again. I think the backside actually looks better than the front side, but this guy basically has been redone. You can kind of see the buck on there. Hang on a second. Let me throw more light on the subject. This is always one of these. There you go. You can kind of see it. It says buck running vertically down the front there. There you go. It's like at an angle. It just says buck. So anyway, I just could not walk away from this one, and they tend to get really, really spendy on eBay. But man, this one actually was very, very affordable, and this is going to go into my knife case that I have that has the knockoffs and the actual Buck Masters and the M9 bayonets. I believe I actually do have I think I actually do have a true Frobus. But the thing about it is any of those items that I got at a not a ridiculous price, they're going stratospheric right now. Along with these guys, they are not cheap either. So right now, knife prices and a lot of stuff on eBay is getting really, really high. And I figured I better jump on it before it gets too stupid. So anyway, like I said, I basically didn't want to make this video too terrible long, but I did want to give you guys kind of a hangout, good stuff like that there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And, you guys had many other places to go, but you hung out with me. And, of course, we do still have me live on Facebook. So I don't know if Zuckerberg is either really, really concerned with, like, dinging people that he's had, previous pissing matches with, or maybe I'm just on my best behavior and I haven't done anything that falls by the wayside as of yet. Give it time. I'll do something. I'll get another 30-day. Guaranteed. Pedro Fever, let me grab something in the room real quick there. Pedro Fever says, did you see the VP ratings are at a 50-year low? Well, Camel Toe Horizontal really was like the least popular person running for president in the Democrat National Convention. Truly, she was like the last one they wanted. And they didn't even want her. They were like, "Oh, dude, we'll take Swalwell and we'll take anybody else over you because we hate your guts." So that's where that one came from. And pretty much, she's not that person. They really, truly don't like her ass. They don't like another part of her either, but they really don't like her ass. All right, so I'm gonna break up this one, folks. Eco Cape Center is always, you know you love it. You had many other choices. You guys hang out with me, and I truly appreciate your kind intentions. So I'm gonna break up with this one, and catch you guys next week. Or if you're getting down around Washington D.C. way and you want to stop into the Otakon, be sure to check me out because I will be there on obviously 6th, 7th, and 8th on this coming weekend in Washington D.C. at the Washington D.C. Convention Center. Do be sure to check it out. Otakon, Otakon, Otakon. So you can be checking them out and seeing all kinds of weird anime type chicks and. Truthfully, some of those girls should not be dressing anime. Well, some of the guys shouldn't be dressing like chicks as anime. I think I saw that last time. Oh, man. All right, folks, I'm going to break this one. Have a good one, and I'll catch you guys later. Eco Trip 10 is always, you know you love it, and you guys hung out with me, so I appreciate your kind intentions. Catch you guys next week, and have a good one. See you guys.